So yeah, as Ollie mentioned then, my name's Jack Bullock. I'm from Stafford College and we're part of Newcastle and Stafford College's group. I'm going to be here tonight really just to talk to you about some of the things that we've got going on at the college, process about applying, some of the things that you could maybe expect from us as a college. And obviously if you want to ask any questions, please place them in the chat function on the Zoom event, and I'll do my best to get back to you after the presentation. Okay. So as an overview, some of the things that I'm going to be discussing, I'll talk about our courses. Now, I've been asked to talk about sports science and personal training tonight. I'll discuss things like our standards, various assessments and expectations throughout the course, what you could maybe expect or lead on to in the future. So I've got a few case studies ready to look through. We'll talk about careers, and then obviously, like I said, there's an opportunity to ask any questions. Okay, so in terms of our courses, I think it's probably most pertinent to say that our courses predominantly focus on three main priorities. The first part of it really is about academic development. Just like any other academic course really across any college or university, you'd expect to be developed academically. The second part is about supporting you practically, and we have a lot of practical elements to our courses. And I think probably the main point regarding practical support is about our tutors and the accessibility of all of our lecturers. We have Microsoft Teams groups, Facebook groups, so that we are accessible for all students really pretty much a lot of the time. The final priority is about making sure that you are industry relevant, or that the course you're doing is industry relevant, so that by the time you leave us, you not only have the academic qualifications, but you have the work experience and you have everything that you need to move into industry or move on to higher education and move on to a degree. So our courses range from level 2 right up to level 6. As I mentioned before, I'm going to be talking about the sports science course and the personal training one, and then Vinny, who's just after me, will talk to you about level 3 sport, the level 2 sport, level 3 sport, and the Andy Griffin Football Academy. Okay, so in terms of studying with us, what you could probably expect is that you're 16 to 19 as a full-time student. You'd enter a study program which has 4 key areas. The first part is that it's a main program of study, so that could be level 3 sport and exercise sciences. The second part of it is about your English and maths study. For those of you who might not achieve your English or maths, hopefully you all do, so you can concentrate on your area of main program. But if you don't, then that will make up the second quarter. The third quarter is about work experience and the development of employability skills. We do a hell of a lot to try and make sure that you are ready for the world of work afterwards or higher education. And then the final part is providing you with the relevant tutorial and enrichment activities so that your time with us is a really smooth one. Okay, so in terms of the course that I course lead, I'm course leader for sport and exercise sciences, and these are some of the things that you can expect to look at doing over the 2 years with us on that course. In the first year, you'd have 6 different units. You have socio-cultural issues in sport and exercise, where we look at things like commercialisation and the impact of the media. You might look at racism, sexism, homophobia, and all those different societal issues that you'll tend to find and how they correspond with sport and exercise. We'll look at functional anatomy, obviously learning all about the body, how it moves, how it works, and those relationships that it shares with sport. Applied psychology, obviously the cognitive function behind sport performance. You've got individual and group-based exercise and coaching for performance and fitness. Those 2 units are, of course, a lot of practical delivery, where you might produce coaching sessions, or it could be gym-based exercises. And then finally, applied research methods, which really lends itself to the research project that you would have to move on to in your second year. Really, when it comes to, if you look across the broadness of the 2 years, what you can tend to expect really is that this should prepare you adequately for university study. Typically at university, you go through things like research methods and research project anyway, but a lot of our students tend to move on to sport and exercise science degrees, where you'll look at functional anatomy, you'll look at physiology, biomechanics, psychology, and it really covers a broad range of things. Equally though, if you feel like you potentially want to focus on one particular area of a course, it might be sport injuries or massage and physiotherapy, you can go on maybe to that at university. It could be that you really enjoyed this applied psychology and you want to focus on that. So there's a lot of different things that really our students go on to from studying such a broad range of topics. The other course is about personal training and fitness instruction. So a lot of our students who come onto this, of course, want to become personal trainers and fitness instructors. This particular course, again, has a wide range of delivery units. What you can probably see there are things like human biology, nutrition, and physiology. It will teach you all about the science side of personal training and fitness instruction. But importantly, a lot of our students do or would quite like to move into their own business or set up their own business. So things like enterprise and entrepreneurship, marketing products, technology and sport, all of those are key features in setting up their own business and becoming a personal trainer. So one thing I did want to touch on really with this is just the difference, or probably the benefit really, of what I think is something really important that we do. We look predominantly at using a lot of different assessment methods, so that when you move on to university and employment, you've gone through things like written assignments, practical work, you can write reports effectively, you can, coaching, role plays, posters, discussions, debates, exams. You've had a real flavour of everything, so you're really ready for employment and university. In terms of tutorial provision at Newcastle and Stafford colleges, what you'd find is that, of course, naturally, we provide a safe and secure learning environment. All full-time students, you'd have a personal tutor and be part of a tutorial group. Naturally, your personal tutor will ensure high levels of success, monitor attendance and progress, and help you be the best that you possibly can be. And obviously, recently we were graded outstanding this time last year, and our support for learners was rated outstanding by Ofsted inspectors. One of the other elements that I touched on earlier about your study programme is English and maths. So obviously they're essential components of every study programme. You'll have to achieve a certain standard of English and maths as you go through your course. And it's essential that mainly once you come onto the level 3 course that you've got either English or maths, and they're essential as you move into work placement and beyond. The fourth part of the study programme is about work placements and work experience. You're expected to do 100 hours over 2 years. They're linked to units that are studied in college. So a lot of our students will move into schools, gyms, and use those as aspects of their course that they potentially might want to move on to after. A lot of students, obviously, as they come through us, they'll start to think about university and what they can move on to. We have a number of specialist careers-based staff that will talk to you about university and drive you through UCAS, which is the application process for university. We have a lot of HE information and financial advice sessions for parents as well, which is something that is obviously very, very important, particularly for those students who are first generation students and moving into university for the first time in their family. We have an HE fair, which is at our Newcastle site, which obviously we would transport you to from Stafford. Last year 50 universities attended, so COVID pending, hopefully we can have something similar maybe next year or towards the back end of 2021. In terms of university progression, I think it's a really important point to say that we're the biggest provider of university students in Staffordshire and in the top 20 nationally. In 2018, we had 1,000 or just under 1,200 students progress onto various universities across the UK, Europe and USA. So that's something that we're quite proud of, to make sure that our students do move on to meaningful destinations once they're completed with us. What we offer in terms of university, we have 2 main degrees. The first one is a foundation degree in sport coaching and physical education. A lot of our students tend to want to stay with us for our university offer, just because they're quite happy with the setting. They enjoy the fact that it's quite close one-to-one contact with lecturers. They get the financial support, they get to stay at home, work alongside a consolidated timetable, which really helps them. A lot of our students who do the football or the sport coaching and PE degree do actually want to train as teachers as well. And we do have a couple of teaching staff who actually were our students and have since moved into becoming staff with us. Okay, one thing I wanted to touch on just about the college. We've obviously merged in the last 3 years with Newcastle College. Since that time, they've invested £12 million with us and completely revamped our campus. But long term, this is the plan to develop, and this is work that's ongoing at the moment, develop a new sport construction and engineering centre which is worth £23 million. So that's something that we're really proud of and excited about. Just finally then, if we move on to things like careers, I think it's important once students listen to things like this, that they understand where they could get to. Obviously, if you're choosing sports science, personal training, or the courses that Vinny will talk about in a few minutes, there are so many different aspects to sport graduates and what they might move into. Obviously, a lot of our students do move into university, and some do want to become coaches or teachers, but don't let that think you that just because you have studied sport and exercise science, for example, that you have to move directly into that particular industry. Obviously, just by looking at that, there are a hell of a lot of things that you might move into. Okay, so I think just to finish off really, if I was a student thinking about coming to Stafford College, I would want to know where students have been really successful with us and what they've moved on to. So here's two really useful examples. Alex on the left there that you can see, she completed her A-levels and then went on to do our foundation degree, moved on to become a teacher, and she works for a Lichfield Cathedral School as a PE teacher and now is head of dance. Jake Triggs, who did our BTEC extended diploma when it was sport coaching, development and fitness, did that with us, got triple distinction star, also did his full honours degree. He's an academy coach at Walsall and now works for Staffordshire Football Association as well. Two more really clear-cut examples. Josh on the left-hand side, he's now a teacher, having studied with us for 4 years, very successful student. Nathan, who actually is a lecturer with us now, he studied with us for his degree. So it just goes to show really that those students, these, I mean, are just 4 basic examples that I've picked out of a hell of a lot that I probably could have chosen. Finally, I think Vinny might touch on this as well, but Jack is an example of somebody who studied sports science at our college, gone away to university, got a number of different work experiences under his belt. He's now training to become a teacher and is part of our department as he learns over this coming year. So you'll be able to see a lot of success stories there, and we do have many, many more, but it's pretty important, I think, for you guys to be able to see what you might move into. So just to summarise then, why sport with our college? Obviously, we are experts in 16 to 18 education and training. We've got a really large programme choice, and obviously it's a top level quality learning environment, outstanding pastoral and academic support, achievement rates, financial health. Obviously, I don't want to blow our own trumpet too much, but we're an outstanding college or an outstanding department in an outstanding college. So we want to make sure that we offer you the same sort of thing, really. So that's it, really. Obviously, just pointing towards our virtual open event that is on Thursday, the 26th of November, between 5:30 and 8. Please drop in. You can ask plenty of questions to us and get a real feel for the college that way, if you would like to. And my email is at the bottom, should you would like to email me any questions.